Swoochy Boochie, good morning to you.
Just trying to find some recruits.
Hey. Good morning. Good morning. Blake told me it's National Doctors Day. Shout out to Mississippi Sports Medicine and Ortho Center. Any age, any sport, any injury, they've got you covered. Shout out to their outstanding physicians, surgeons. They've got you covered. Any orthopedic hiccup, powered by Mississippi Sports Medicine and Ortho Center. We're going to have to jump into that with the draft, speaking of. Also, shout out to Eye Care Professionals, Dr. Kirk Jeffries and his team on Lakeland Drive. Out of Bounds, 105.9 The Zone, ESPN, WRKS. We are streaming live on the Out of Bounds radio app. You can watch the show right now on YouTube. Search Out of Bounds Sports. And, yes, you
Can we give
like
something
to
away?
interrupt me?
Yeah, can we give something away?
Okay, what do you want to give away?
Anybody who comments on the YouTube page video that
Okay.
we're live today, right now, we will pick someone who comments and give something away.
Okay. All right.
We got plenty of stuff. We'll put a little package. I'll put a little swag bag together. Just a couple little things.
Okay. Yeah, you love giving away stuff.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. All right. So
I'm
if they
about the
comment
people.
on our YouTube page, search Out of Bounds Sports.
Yeah. This video, you got 30 minutes.
All they have to do is just say, hey.
Yeah, you got 30 minutes. You can say, you're awesome, you're bad.
War Eagle.
Yeah.
Hotty Toddy. Hell State.
Go Hogs.
Ooh. Do we have some Hog fans out there?
Go Hogs. Yes, sir.
That's got to get you fired up. If you're driving to work at 7:30, when you hear a Go Hogs, yes, sir, it's got to fire you up.
Ooh. Okay.
Hot take.
Whoa.
Go Hogs.
Whoa.
Hot garbage.
Was Will Muschamp in the top 10 of best coaches?
Yes.
Wake
I'm
up,
sorry.
Muschamp.
No, he wasn't. I apologize. I got confused.
Wake up, Muschamp.
Okay.
Will Muschamp.
How about this with Central Florida?
The Gus Bus is broke.
Hey, he's probably going to do well
The
down
Gus
there.
Bus is broke.
Probably will, I would think. I don't know what happened to him on offense, but
He's
I
going to
think
be
so.
able to recruit heavily at Central Florida.
Yeah, for that league, he'll get some serious talent.
Yeah.
He knows how to do it. That Auburn booster base is super aggressive.
And he can flash the
so he'll kind of put a hybrid deal together in
Yeah.
Central Florida.
he can flash the Cam Newton National Championship ring. Be like, hey, this is a real
It's true.
this is a real one. I know you guys think you have one, but I have one.
Right.
You know. Big SEC coach.
You know, you guys think you have one, but I have one? Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's what you tell Central Florida.
Huh.
You walk into the boosters, and if you want to lay the law down and explain, hey guys, I'm all about Central Florida, but you work for me, I don't work for you. You walk in and say, hey, you want to see a real national title ring? And you just pull that hand out.
Or you do this.
I stick him the middle finger. There's no way I'm doing that.
Would you do that if you won a national title? You wear it on the middle finger so you can show it to.
You would.
No, I would never do that.
Yes, you would.
I'm a kind, gentle soul.
You absolutely would
no
do that.
chance.
Oh, man. Is this Matt Corral?
He walked out on that field and it was like football Jesus had hit.
No.
No?
Do you think he'll be the number one pick next year?
I think he's got a chance to be. Yes, I do. The guys that you dropped in front of him did not impress me.
Yeah. So according to Pro Football Focus,
Okay.
they've ranked their kind of early preseason top 10 QBs coming back.
Okay.
Spencer Rattler, number 1 at Oklahoma.
Okay.
I kind of understand it because he'll put up stupid numbers. I mean, it's going to be video game numbers, so I get what they're thinking. Sam Howell at North Carolina. Interesting. This one I'm very confused
Sam
by.
Howell is not better than Matt Corral. Go ahead.
Derek King at Miami.
He's not better than Matt Corral. Go ahead.
Feels like an off-brand Denard Robinson, maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
like I don't really
not even
see,
in the same discussion.
It'll be interesting. Dylan Gabriel at UCF. What's Gus going to do with Dylan Gabriel at UCF? I don't know.
Okay.
Interesting.
Okay.
Michael Penix Jr. at Indiana. I think he's very good. We'll see.
He's
coming
not
back
better
off
than Corral,
injury.
but he's good.
Tore his ACL. I don't know. I don't know about that. Matt Corral's
I
number
don't
6.
think he's even close to as good as Matt Corral. Go ahead.
Interesting. Matt Corral's number 6 on PFF's early preseason. Now we've seen guys go way down, and we've seen guys like Joe Burrow go from 7th round potential project to number 1 overall pick with his play. So this time of year that list doesn't necessarily mean anything.
Right.
But PFF has Corral as their 6th guy on the list.
So Corral will be. Did Tamu get drafted in like the 6th or 5th, 6th, 7th round?
I thought he was an undrafted free agent with
okay.
Kansas City.
And Chad Kelly was the last pick in the draft?
Correct, Mr. Irrelevant.
So they have had a quarterback drafted since Eli Manning, but nothing early.
No.
Okay, Corral will go early. He'll go first. I would think worst case scenario, 2nd round. So Matt Corral is our Patrick Mahomes, and Will Rogers is our Drew Brees. And I think we nailed it, kind of sizing up those guys. As far as at the collegiate level, they remind me of those two guys. The Out of Bounds Show, SEC Insider Hit, is brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. The official healthcare provider of the Out of Bounds Show, Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. We're going to have Parrish Alford coming up here in just a second. He'll join us on the Modelo guest line. For those of you who follow us on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, you saw where we posted a picture of a super cool Modelo cooler. This thing is nice. And Capital City Bev dropped it off yesterday. And we're excited. I really don't want to give it away, but I have to.
I'm keeping it.
I mean, seriously, it would look great on my boat.
It's got that retro look to it.
It does. I like the lines. I like the color. It's a little Notre Dame, with the navy blue and the gold bronze, I guess we're going with. But it is a fine cooler. So Instagram at @Bo_Bounds, and then just search the Out of Bounds Show on Facebook, and Twitter's at Bo Bounds. We're going to go to the Modelo guest line and welcome in Parrish Alford, djournal.com, Ole Miss Insider, and Parrish joins us on ESPN 105.9 The Zone. Parrish, good morning. How are you?
Hey, Bo, I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Have you been busy the last week or so?
I have been busy. It's that lap over season, man, where you get several things going on at one time. But isn't this so much better than a year ago?
Yes. I saw you post, I don't remember if it was on your Facebook page, your Ole Miss page, or Twitter, but I thought you made a good point that it was just you were glad to be kind of running around between the Ole Miss WNIT and Ole Miss Baseball and other things. It's a good thing for our business, right?
It really is. Last year was different for everybody, for all businesses, but it was a struggle to come up with meaningful content when no games were being played.
How long have you been covering Ole Miss, Parrish?
I got over there in 2002. I was covering state with the Daily Journal from 96 to 2001. We changed beats after 2001 football in that spring. And I covered state a little bit from the Meridian Star back before Tupelo. So
what year was that for Mike? Year 2 or year 3 at Ole Miss when you jumped in?
I picked up Mike Bianco in year 2.
Okay.
So I've been every season but the first covering him.
Isn't that amazing that he is?
Yeah.
This day and age that he's still in Oxford at Ole Miss and winning. What do you think about this? What do you think about this 6-0 start?
You know what? It's good. It's really good, but they have not faced the elite teams in the conference yet. And when you say that, it sounds like Alabama and Auburn are just also-rans, and that's not the case either. I mean, those teams can pick you off, as Arkansas can attest from game 1 in their series with Alabama. Sweeps are hard. So for Ole Miss to get 2 of them back-to-back, that's pretty impressive.
I guess when you look at the front line, Pitt Nikhazy coming back was big. They've got 3 legit starters, and then they can barrel up and score in a hurry. And that's what they did on Alabama in the first game. Kind of talk about how they can be kind of moving along and scoring a couple runs, and then all of a sudden score like 6 runs in 5 minutes, Parrish?
Well, you know what? That started from the first weekend there in Arlington against the Texas teams. We saw Ole Miss win 3 games out there, really not with an offense that just dominated throughout the 9 innings, but one that was really, had a big inning, just had a big inning in them, seemed like most every game. That's different. It's a little bit different than these most recent Ole Miss teams. I'm thinking the 2019, the 18 teams. The Auburn game, game 2 of that series, Ole Miss gets out in front 6-0. Okay, big first couple of innings. And lots of teams, you kind of go on cruise control after that. But those more recent teams would have extended that lead more. They were different kinds of offenses. As it was, those were the big innings for Ole Miss in that game, and they hung on and won 6-5. But I'm thinking for the last 3 years, the other offenses win this game 12-7, and you don't have drama at the end. And that's just kind of a difference in those teams and this team right now. There's still a lot of potential in this offense, and there are a lot of guys who can hit, but we don't see this team right now extending leads throughout the game. Look, they've won 6 SEC games, 2 by 1 run, 1 by 2 runs that was a 1-0 game late, and then a 4th game that they won, they were trailing 3-1 in the 9th when they scored 8. I mean, so it's a little bit of a different team than the ones we've seen more recently.
Do you think this is his best team? Well, there's a lot of baseball to be played, but how do you've been doing this since 2002 with Mike Bianco? How do you compare this team to maybe 2 or 3 of his best teams since he's been there? How about that?
Well, I tell you, I just want to see this team get into the meat of the schedule a little more. The 14 team was good. The 18 team was really good. But you've got to be good at the right time. The 18 team didn't play its best ball in the regional. You've got to be good at the right time. I mean, the 14 team was projected, I think, 4th or 5th in the division at the start of that season. So there is a lot of baseball to be played, I think, really before you can make fair comparisons like that. But the pitching will have this team in that conversation. The starting pitching is really good. The bullpen, I think we saw them struggle a little bit in that mid-tier, the middle relief, when Max Chofie went out. They need him. They'll have him back this weekend. Probably if they play tonight, there's a lot of rain in the area, he'll probably pitch a little bit this afternoon. They start at 4 o'clock against North Alabama. He's an experienced arm, and he's somebody they need in that middle relief area. Now, they can be really good, their upper-tier arms in that bullpen. Taylor Broadway has really come on as the closer. Austin Miller gets big outs in the 7th and 8th and that sort of thing. So they have some clearly defined roles in their upper tier, and it was good to see them add Drew McDaniel to that tier at Alabama. I mean, that was something that Mike Bianco laid out for us during the week. It was a plan that he wanted. He didn't expect 7 innings from Doug Nikhazy coming back from missing a couple of starts. He expected a shorter start from Nikhazy in Game 2. That's the way it played out. But he believed that McDaniel could come in and give him some length in a relief appearance, where most of these guys have been able to come in and pitch well for an inning or maybe 1.2 or something. McDaniel was able to come in and pitch 3, and that bullpen really needed that in the second game of that series.
Parrish Alford, djournal.com, Ole Miss insider. He joins us on the Modelo guest line. We're talking Ole Miss baseball. 6-0, heading to Gainesville this weekend. Parrish, you've been covering SEC baseball in Oxford or Starkville for over 20 years. Can you remember a weekend where Florida, LSU, and Mississippi State were swept?
No, I can't. But when you talk about the depth of the conference and how good some of these teams are, it's like I said a minute ago, Alabama and Auburn, when you sit here and say, well, they haven't faced the meat of the schedule, they haven't. They haven't faced the teams that we think are going to be the elite teams in the conference. But, that changes. This is a living being here, and there's a lot of give and take in the season as it goes along. We believe that Mississippi State and Arkansas and Florida, the three teams that Ole Miss faces the next 3 weeks, that they're going to be, competing for national seeds and they have College World Series hopes. I mean, that's the level that these teams are. But Tennessee's not bad. Tennessee's winning a lot of games, playing a lot of good baseball right now. Surprising that State was swept by Arkansas. Yeah, it's surprising that they didn't get in a game. Didn't at least get one. But we think we know the type of team that Arkansas is, and they're good in all phases. There's a lot of jockeying for position right now, I think, in the middle of the conference, and that's why it's so important when you can to sweep those teams, because when it comes down to it, if the teams we think are going to be the best teams, they're going to be close at the top at the end of the season. You're going to need a game. You're going to need to have won an extra game somewhere, and that's why those sweeps are so important.
Ole Miss 6-0. We're visiting with Parrish Alford, Ole Miss Insider, on the Modelo guest line. Who makes the team tick? Is it Chatnier? Is it – I know he missed a little bit of time, but Mike's been on several times and just talks so highly of him. Is it Elko? Is it someone else? Who drives this team, so to speak, from the locker room to the field? Parrish?
Look, in different ways here, from an explosiveness standpoint, it can be Tim Elko, who can just go off like he did on Sunday when he was 4 for 5, in Game 3 on the Saturday, when he was 4 for 5 and drove in 5 runs, had a double and a home run. I mean, he can have that kind of game. Kevin Graham can have that kind of game. Chatnier can have that kind of game. But for me, if I was picking an MVP right now, I think it would be Justin Bench. Okay? Justin Bench was quietly 6 for 11 in that series, had 2 hits every game. I think they need more consistency on offense from people like that. They need more people to hit more often. They're going to have to find out a way to hit good pitching. They scored late against Alabama. They scored, 8 in the ninth. They kind of got into that bullpen in Game 3 and extended the lead then. They're going to face teams that are deeper in the bullpen than Alabama was this weekend. And they're going to have to find ways to score. If that's manufacture runs, if that's just find guys to be more consistent day to day, they're going to have to find ways to score against the better pitching more often.
Parrish Alford on the Out of Bounds show. All right, I know you're locked into baseball, some women's hoops, and so on, but Ole Miss football. Ole Miss returns the best quarterback in the Southeastern Conference, in my opinion. It's not close. So there's a lot of buzz the way they played under year one with Kiffin. They should be better on defense, but I don't think they'll miss a beat on offense, even though Elijah Moore and Yeboah and Royce Newman and some others were outstanding players. I actually think Drummond and Sanders coming back is quietly one of the biggest deals in the SEC West, and Kiffin will figure it out with them. What are you looking for from Ole Miss football this spring? Because Parrish, Auburn, in transition, could be down. LSU, another set of coordinators for the 3rd year in a row. What are they going to do at QB? A&M, got to break in a new QB. There's an opportunity here for Kiffin and a quarterback who has been around for 4 years. Your thoughts?
But, when you're good at that position, it makes so many other things easier when you're good at that position. And Ole Miss is very good at quarterback. They lost a ton of production when they lost Elijah Moore. 86 catches last year. The next guy on the team was Yeboah with 27. Now, part of that comes because of how many times they targeted him. Well, they targeted him that many times because they knew they could depend on him. Very reliable. But a lot of production lost there. I think that production will still be in the offense, but will be spread around. I don't think you're going to see one guy targeted in the way that Elijah Moore was last year. And we've seen Dontario Drummond make some plays. To tell you that, you mentioned Braylon Sanders. I think he's the unsung guy right now. I think people who have watched Ole Miss during his career have seen him make some incredible catches. They've seen him gain separation and make plays downfield. They've seen him get hurt a lot. But if he stays healthy, I think they will be good enough on the outside. I'm really interested to see what slot becomes. If that's Jonathan Mingo there to start, kind of as we expect, I think it could be a situation. I think that could be a really good fit for Mingo. I think he's been, kind of inconsistent his first 2 years, but you start getting him on some slot routes, some short catches where he uses his athleticism and increases confidence. I think he could have a big, big year. And look, where do they put John Rhys Plumlee? I mean, we saw the game that he had against Indiana in the Outback Bowl. It's not a given that he'll move to receiver. But what Kiffin told us the other day was he would have that conversation with John Rhys after baseball. All right, so you kind of being coy with that right now. That's fine. That's what coaches do. It would seem to me that someone as competitive as John Rhys Plumlee would be drawn to getting on the field, and whatever was his best opportunity to get on the field. And I think that's going to be receiver for him. I think that's going to be his best opportunity. There's not going to be a quarterback competition at Ole Miss this summer. There was last year, but there's not going to be a quarterback competition this summer. The reps are going to be handled differently. But look, you have done this a long time, Bo, and you have seen athletes make decisions that just make you scratch your head, and you wonder, why are they doing that? So I don't assume to make any decisions for any of these guys, but it would seem to me that John Rhys's competitive nature would probably lead him toward receiver in this discussion that he will have with Lane Kiffin after baseball.
Interesting. And I guess he could also consider transferring and playing quarterback somewhere.
I guess he could, but I don't think I don't get that vibe. Again, these guys make decisions all the time that you look at and say, But when I look at him, I see a guy that is involved at Ole Miss in so many different ways. Baseball, of course, but just a very talented young person that I think enjoys being where he is, and a guy who's from Mississippi. He could choose to transfer in football. He could choose to do that and start over in all of these other aspects, all of these other things that he's so very involved in.
Yeah.
Don't know.
We'll leave it there. Parrish Alford. Check out his Facebook page, Ole Miss Discussion with Parrish Alford, djournal.com. He joined us on the Modelo guest line. Parrish, have a good week, buddy. We'll do it again soon.
You too. Bye-bye. Parrish
Alford on the Out of Bounds Show, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Mississippi. It's good to be blue. Also, the Out of Bounds Show is presented by Eye Care Professionals. Dr. Kirk Jeffries and the crew at Eye Care Professionals on Lakeland Drive. Blade-free LASIK and cataract surgery. Eye